Hello everybody, I am Reptilian. Today I'm doing my first Pokemon Showdown video. I made a layout, and in this video, my team is the one in the back, so it looks like I'm fighting myself, kind of. But it's kind of confusing, but don't worry about it. In the layout, the boxes on the top are my Pokemon, and the ones on the bottom are the opponent's Pokemon. So yeah, there were some pretty good fights in this, so I hope you enjoy. Alright, so in this first battle, I sent out Aerodactyl. I am on the backside for some reason, so I switch out into Zebstrika thinking that I can do some damage to Golduck. However, Golduck switches out into Wormadam, so I go for Wild Charge, thinking I would still be fighting the Golduck. So then I go for Overheat, and that knocks out Wormadam, so that's the end of that, and yeah. So then they send out Latios. They Mega Evolve Latios. I go for Wild Charge, because there's not much else that Zebstrika could do. And it goes for Psyshock, which knocks out Zebstrika. I go for Delibird, and it switches out into Bisharp, and I go for Ice Punch, thinking that would do something to Latios, but it doesn't. And then I go for Destiny Bond, in case Bisharp knocks me out. And then it goes for the Substitute. I go for Aerial Ace, think he'll do something to the Substitute. I live and knock off at 1% health. So then they switch out into Golduck again. And I go for Aerial Ace, does about 25%. They go for Scald, which knocks out my Delibird. I go into Comfy. I go to U-turn, and I switch into Tapu Lele, or Tapu Lele, I don't know how to say it. And then they go for Calm Mind, so I go for Calm Mind. So then they go for Scald, and I go for Focus Blast, which almost takes out Golduck, but not quite. So then I get burned, and then I go for Psyshock, and that knocks out Golduck, and then the burn nearly takes me out, but it doesn't. I go for Moonblast on the Florges. It does a little over half, and Moonblast takes out my Tapu Lele. And then I go into Aerodactyl, which I Mega Evolve, and I one-shot with Aqua Tail. So I'm going to send out Bisharp. I go for Aqua Tail again. Does a good bit of damage. It goes for Iron Head, which nearly takes me out. But then I go for Fire Fang, which knocks out Bisharp. Then I go into Jinx. I go for Fire Fang again, which knocks out Jinx. And then they forfeit. Alright, so they start with Togekiss. I start with Alolan Muck, and they go for Air Slash. And then I flinch. They go for Thunder Wave, and then I'm paralyzed. I can't move. Then they go for and I finally able to go for Gunk Shot. Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit, because this is fast. Then I go for Shadow Sneak for a misclick. They go for Giga Drain, and then I actually go for Gunk Shot after this. Giga Drain, which knocks out the Tropius, and I get knocked out as well. And then they send out Durant, I send out Chatot, and Superpower, and then I actually miss my attack. I try to go for Heat Wave, and then they miss, and I'm able to go for Heat Wave, which knocks out Durant. And then they send out Druddigon, which I do a little over half with Boom Burst. They knock me out with Outrage, and then there goes Chatot. I go into Golduck, and I put in a Substitute, and they go for Outrage, which just knocks out the Substitute. And then I go for Hydro Pump, which nearly knocks out Druddigon. It goes for Fire Punch, which doesn't do very much at all, obviously. And I go for Signal Beam, which knocks out Druddigon. They go into Granbull, and I go for Hydro Pump. They can use Play Rough, which nearly knocks me out. It was pretty scary. And then I go for another Hydro Pump, which gets a crit and knocks out Granbull. And then they go into Aurorus, and I go for Hydro Pump, which does way over half. They go for Hyper Voice, which knocks out Golduck. And I go for Barbaracle, which finishes the job with Aurorus, which ends the battle. And that's that. I won the battle.